Arlington Redevelopment Board members want to see a redesign now of the new building at 1500 Mass Ave in the Heights. And they were also excited to hear of a very ambitious plan to overhaul Arlington's outdated Fox Library. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of ACMi News from Menotomy Rocks Park. I'm Jeff Barnes. So glad you could join us. First, let's get to 1500 Mass Ave. The three-story building in Arlington Heights is 80% complete, but town leaders say the builder must rethink the design. In a roughly 90-minute meeting last week, Arlington's Redevelopment Board agreed to reopen owner Darin DiNucci's special permit to allow for more accessibility. The ARB initially gave the green light to the builder for offices on the first floor and apartments on the upper floors of the structure at 1500 Mass Ave. But as construction was ongoing, the architect discovered a mistake that omitted an ADA-compliant unit in the new building for those with disabilities. Ideas range from replacing a ground floor commercial space with an accessible unit. Another possibility is the installation of an elevator. In the end, the board voted 3-2 to reopen the special permit, allowing the developer to return by September the 9th with new plans that accommodates those with disabilities. Here's some back and forth now at the July 15th ARB meeting.
Of most interest to this board is the situation around the inclusion of an ADA unit. I believe this board, when it issued its decision, had said, solely commercial use on the first floor with residences above. I believe Mr. DiNucci is here this evening to discuss potentially moving that ADA unit to the first floor or any other recommendations or any other comments the board may have about these items.
So I think the discussion amongst the board is the willingness for the board to reopen the permit. The ask is, as I understand it, to eliminate one of the commercial units that was permitted and to replace it with a single accessible unit in its current configuration. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. The short story is we're here now. It's been quite a hardship. It's past $300K between bank costs and loss of rent. And we have the solution. We've done the due diligence.
I would not be in favor of reopening the special permit because I think that the first floor needs to remain a business use. There are a few options, including modifying the building to add an elevator, which again, I completely understand is an expense and a hardship at this point.
Now that we're here, we don't have that option, and we don't have the option for the lifts because you might as well just take the building down at this point. There's no configuration to put a Lula in at this point.
Yeah, the building's complete, structurally 80%. We just held off on the completion of the commercial units on the first floor because that's where we're at when we got contacted to hit the pause button.
I would be in favor of reopening it. If for no other reason, then I would prefer not to see a partially finished building just sit vacant.
ARB board member Eugene Benson noted that plans that the ARB approved 4 years ago included a handicapped parking space, which he says mysteriously disappeared from the approved design. Again, the new design for 1500 Mass Ave is due on September the 9th. Let's go further east now on Mass Ave. Details about the long-proposed demolition and reconstruction of East Arlington's Fox Library emerged during that very same ARB meeting. DPCD Director Claire Ricker said current plans could include the creation of 20 units on the 3rd through 6th floors of the new building, half of which could be affordable housing units. Library officials say to meet their needs, they're hoping for a larger, possibly 2-story library. Libraries Director Anna Litton has said in the past that the post-COVID era is bringing more foot traffic, new demands on library spaces and resources, and that there's a healthy uptick in circulation, which is why she says she reached out to the Department of Planning and Community Development for some new ideas.
I reached out quickly to Claire as someone who had information and knowledge about housing that certainly I, as a library director, do not have. And we decided to together work to develop a feasibility study for the opportunity to develop housing above the Fox Branch Library. I'm very grateful to Claire for all the work that she did, including applying for and receiving One Stop for Growth grant funds, which helped us secure the MAPC team who is working with us on this project.
I want to challenge you guys who are doing this to not think of this as traditional housing, where you can maximize more units. Look at the audience you're trying to target. Okay, I think what most people want there is because there's so little front yard, backyard, parking. It's going to be the young professionals that want to get a slice into Arlington and get some of the life of the street. You know, the restaurants, 1 or 2 bars maybe, but the atmosphere of the lifestyle of the street and being close to Boston. So if you target it to the young professionals, you still may be able to capitalize on the income rent. I would encourage you to make this happen. I think it's a great project.
Town leaders say there will be time for public input on this project. Ms. Litton says, just to give a barometer on how demand for library services has risen, the Library Committee started meeting last year, and more than 7,000 people attended a series of Fox Branch Library presentations that same year.